again to Temple Reef's Insight series. Today we talk again about slow pitch jigging, and the focus will be on how to hold and use a slow pitch jigging rod. Now, many of us take this for granted because you think you just hold the rod and reel the way you feel comfortable. But there is a specific way to hold this equipment so that you have greater control over your rod and more feel for the line, as well as get a better grip on your equipment so that you don't get into trouble, you don't drop it. Yeah. So let me start by showing you how this works. Yeah. Many people hold the rod here and fish this way. Some people hold the rod here and fish this way. The correct way of holding this equipment is to work with the way the rods and reels are designed, which is to envelope the rod and reel with your hand as much as possible. Because the more contact your hand has on your equipment, the more you can feel what's going on at the other end of the line, plus the more secure your grip is. And it also makes it easier to manage and manipulate the rod and the reel as you are fishing, which I will try and show you later. Alright guys, so this is how we do it. To hold and fully envelope the rod and reel with your hand, hold it like this. Every finger in this serves a purpose. And let me explain what every finger does. First of all, the thumb. The thumb presses down on the reel, and that levers the butt end of the rod into your forearm. Now I'll explain to you why this is very important later on, but just remember the thumb exerts downward pressure on the reel. The index finger here hooks under the bottom of the reel, between the rod and the reel, and this prevents the rod from being pulled out and you get a big fish. Your third finger and your ring finger do the same, but they're under the rod. And these two prevent the rod from being pulled out. And finally, the pinky at the back prevents the rod from sliding backwards for whatever reason. So you have a firm grip on your rod. Every finger has its purpose. Some pressing down, some preventing from going forward, and others preventing from sliding backwards. And this is how you hold a slow pitch rod and reel. Now that we've learned how to hold the rod and the reel properly, let me show you why it's very important after that to be able to keep the butt of the rod under your forearm for control purposes. Now, many anglers, when they start slow pitch jigging, they tend to pitch this way with the butt of the rod under the armpit, simply because this is the easiest way to control the movement of the rod. But if you do it this way, there's only a limited range of movements that you can make with the rod. The right way to fish and the right way to place the butt is here, under your forearm, as you pitch. This is the correct way of doing slow pitch jigging. The problem is, for many people who are not used to this, when you hold the rod this way, the butt will slip and wobble from left to right as you are pitching. So, the secret of keeping this in place under your forearm is to not just place it here, but as you are holding the reel, put pressure down on your thumb. Pressure the front of the reel downwards, and using your ring finger against the trigger as a fulcrum to push the butt up into your forearm. So thumb down, fulcrum, and pushing the butt up into your forearm. This way. Once you have these three forces at work, it is very easy for you then to control the butt and keep it stuck to your forearm as you pitch. Alright? So again, thumb pressing down, ring finger as the fulcrum, and pushing up, the rod up into your forearm. Right guys, so now that we've learned how to keep the butt of the rod securely against your forearm, let's look at some techniques of slow pitch jigging. Now, a lot of people tend to start slow pitch jigging by doing this. It's the natural and the easiest thing to do, using your bicep and keeping your upper arm close to the body and changing the angle here at the elbow. This is what they do to keep the pitch going up and down. Now, if you're pitching a 400 gram jig, in 300 meters of water, and doing this all day, your biceps are going to give up. Because this is a small muscle, and it's not designed to be doing a few thousand bicep curls like this all day long. The correct way to pitch a jig is to keep the butt again securely under your elbow by using the big muscles of your body, your pecs, your delts, your lats, and even your hips, your trunk, your core, to help with the pitching movement. And the way to do it is like this. You use the big muscles to do this, not this. Okay? So when you use the big muscles, you push your arm out like this, keeping the angle at your elbow fairly constant so that you don't work your bicep, you don't stress it out. Keep the angle here fairly constant. Push the rod out. Using your shoulder, your lats, and sometimes even your trunk, you can rotate. In a way maybe like golf and tennis, where you use your core and your trunk to help with the pitch. Alright? If you're right-handed, you can rest your right thigh against the gunnel of the boat, and that gives you a more stable platform for pitching. If you're left-handed, you put the left thigh against the gunnel of the boat, and you can lean forward and pitch. With this sort of correct technique, you can pitch all day long and not get fatigued. So guys, I hope you learned something today. Just to recap, here at Temple Reef, we believe that the rod is an extension of your arm. So the more contact points you have on the rod and the reel, the better. So we have your fingers, your thumb, your palm, and your forearm. Plenty of contact points. And this allows us to control the rod better, and this allows us to pitch all day without fatigue.